joining us on the news at 4 on Dott TV. I am Ifi Arono, and here are the stories we have for you at this time. Delta State civil servants have received a major welfare boost as Governor Sheriff Oborewori announced new incentives during the 2026 Public Service Week celebration in Asaba. The governor said the measures are aimed at rewarding diligence and strengthening the state's public service. Priscilla Ifani was there and reports.
Delta State Governor Sheriff Oborewori has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to workers' welfare with the approval of the 13th month salary for civil servants in the state for the 2026 fiscal year. The governor, who made the announcement during the 2026 Public Service Week dinner and awards night in Asaba, became the first governor in Delta State to approve a 13th month salary for civil servants. He also approved a threefold increase in the cash prizes for outstanding public servants in recognition of excellence and dedicated service. Governor Oborewori described the event as an opportunity to celebrate excellence, assess the progress of public service, and inspire greater productivity. He noted that the theme of this year's celebration, reforms, resilience, and results, aligns with his administration's more agenda, stressing that meaningful reforms can only succeed when workers are adequately motivated, properly equipped, and fully supported.
As we celebrate this accomplishment, we remain mindful of the welfare needs of our workforce. Housing remains a priority area for this administration, and we will continue to explore practical solutions, including strategic partnerships, to expand access to affordable housing for public servants. Let us renew our commitment to reform, strengthen our resilience, and remain focused on the delivering results for the people of Delta State. I want to make a promise here. It is my prayer that I will be the first governor to initiate the 13 months salary.
Earlier, the state head of service, Dr. Minimi Museji, said the 2026 Public Service Week offered an opportunity for reflection, professional development, institutional collaboration, and recognition of excellence among public servants.
I am the only state head of service posting on the platform about celebration of the 2026 Public Service Week. All I can say is that money is talking, blessings on blessings. And for a state where the administration does not borrow, we can now claim that we are the undefeated, undisputed, unopposed #1 state in promoting an efficient and effective public service in the country. Any other state that organizes a public service week henceforth will have to queue behind Delta State.
The high point of the event was the presentation of awards to outstanding civil servants. Abuga Dennis of the Ministry of Agriculture and Natural Resources emerged as the best civil servant farmer, while two other workers received an award for their exceptional punctuality and commitment to duty. Reporting from Asaba, Priscilla Ifani, Dott TV News.
Also, Delta government has assured members of the National Youth Service Corps (NYSC) serving in the state of adequate security. This is just as the governor urged corps members to contribute meaningfully to national service and community development. Governor Sheriff Oborewori gave the charge at the closing ceremony of the 2026 Batch B Stream 1 orientation course in Iseluku, Aniocha North local government area of the state. Priscilla Ifani again reports.
Representing the governor of Delta State, the secretary of the state government, Dr. Kingsley Emu, said Delta State is a safe haven for corps members. He also noted that Deltans are hospitable and charged the corps members to believe in Nigeria and contribute their quota to the development of the country.
We are interconnected, and then there are a lot of economic activities. Even though our GDP, the highest earner in our GDP, not even non-oil GDP, which is, you have to look at services. Services comes first. It used to be oil. Oil accounts for about 30% of what we have here, but it is the highest foreign exchange earner in Delta State. But you see more of farming, more of trading, more of petty industries running. So you have yourself the opportunity to align with those environments.
The NYSC coordinator Delta State, John Fandi Kwangi, praised the deposition of this set of core members. He asked the core members to affect their host communities positively. He advised the core employers to provide accommodation for the core members to get the best from them.
My gentlemen core members, as you proceed to your places of primary assignment, I urge you to uphold the ideas of the scheme, be law-abiding, respect the customs and traditions of your host communities, and discharge your duties with diligence, humility, and integrity.
The core members were posted to places of primary assignment within the 25 local government areas of the states. Priscilla Ifani, Dott TV News.
Meanwhile, the federal government has confirmed plans to replace the National Youth Service Corps traditional khaki uniform with locally produced Adire fabric as part of ongoing reforms aimed at repositioning the scheme. The Minister of Youth Development, Ayodele Olawande, disclosed this on Thursday during a television interview, saying the move was intended to promote local manufacturing and ensure government spending supports the Nigerian economy. Olawande also said core members would increasingly be posted according to their fields of study under the new framework, explaining that graduates with education qualifications, for instance, would be deployed to schools rather than being posted without consideration for their professional backgrounds. On security, the minister said the government was considering posting prospective core members to regions where they studied and were already familiar with the environment, particularly in areas facing security challenges. Now, the growing number of homeless children in Asaba, the Delta State capital, has become a source of concern for residents and stakeholders across different parts of the city. Children can be seen sleeping under bridges, roaming the streets, and struggling to survive without the care and protection of parents and guardians. Victoria Monday completes the report.
These children, who should be in school and preparing for a brighter future, are instead exposed to hunger, abuse, exploitation, and other social vices. This trend poses a serious threat to human capital development, limits economic opportunities, and undermines efforts to build a productive and educated society. Some of the children, however, say they lost their parents or guardians and have turned the streets into their only home. The Delta State Commissioner for Women Affairs, Princess Pat Ajudua, in an interview says the government remains committed to protecting vulnerable children and providing interventions aimed at reducing the number of children living on the streets.
The law protecting children does not allow children loiter about in any part of the state. And the ministry has done a lot to tackle this problem. Every now and then we go out evacuating them, reuniting some of them with their parents and families, the ones that families are traceable, the ones that are not, we take them to our center, where we keep children until we're able to identify or locate their families. But there are also some who come from across the Niger. And when they come, they want to do street hawking, which is not allowed. The law does not allow that. Delta State does not encourage that. We don't want children to be on the street selling when they're supposed to go to school. So we go, we pick them. The ones that we identify as criminals, we take them to the appropriate places to tackle them. We have children's home in Delta State. We also, the ones that the children are poor and we can locate their families, we make sure that they get back to school, put them in schools, assist them one way or the other. So the ministry has been trying, and then we'll continue to try. There is no end to the work.
16 years. 16 years for that Kwale Park side. Building where they don't build, where they never do and finish. Sometimes police they come, they pursue all these people where they that side. So there's some of them they do. If people they pass for here in the night, they always collect their phone for here in the night. That's how they pursue them. I still go put me for school, I will go now.
Well, the trial over the death of Ogenemine Ogidi has commenced at the Delta State High Court in Asaba. 5 police officers have been arraigned before the court, where they pleaded not guilty to the charges against them. Our correspondent Priscilla Ifani was in court and now reports.
5 police officers appeared before Justice Emendoka of the Delta State High Court for Asaba Judicial Division over the alleged killing of Ogenemine Ogidi. The first defendant, ASP Usman Nuhu, was arraigned on the 1-count charge of murder. The 4 other defendants, ASP Oloko Daro Pamo, ASP Oko Kelechi, Inspector Goodluck Kingsley, and Inspector Omonihu Agoyebi, were arraigned on charges of negligence acts causing harm. All 5 defendants pleaded not guilty when the charges were read to them. Following their pleas, Justice Emendoka adjourned the matter to July 14, 2026 for the commencement of hearing. Counsel to the applicants and counsel to the defendants later spoke with journalists after court proceedings.
Defendants have been arraigned today. They've taken their plea and they are entitled, they are pled not guilty. But our case is very straightforward. Nobody has the right to make himself the accuser, the judge, and the executioner. What he has done amounts to mob justice, and we can't stand for that. We intend to pursue this case diligently and speedily, and I will urge all citizens and residents of our dear states to remain calm and just await the outcome of the process. And we're very ready for our trial. We'll be calling our witness on that day. Can I assure you that we are truly very prepared. What happened was very abhorrent. We are happy with the conduct, but of course, he has the right to come to court and then, of course, plead this case. At the end of the day, we assure you that justice will be served in this case.
They took their pleas. The matter has been adjourned to the 14th. So on that 14th, we'll come back for trial and then other processes.
The case is expected to resume on July 14th when the court begins hearing evidence from both the prosecution and the defense. Reporting from Asaba, Priscilla Ifani, Dott TV News.
Well, to environmental matters now, the growing rate of indiscriminate waste disposal in Asaba, the Delta State capital, is raising serious environmental and public health concerns, with residents and stakeholders calling for stronger measures to tackle the problem. The report.
Across several parts of the city, heaps of refuse litter major roads, street corners, drainage channels, and markets. Environmental experts warned that the practice not only defaces the city's landscape but also creates breeding grounds for mosquitoes and rodents, increases the risk of disease outbreaks, and contributes to flooding through blocked drainage channels, particularly during the rainy season. While some residents blame the situation on inadequate waste collection services and the limited number of designated disposal points, others say poor public attitudes towards environmental sanitation have significantly worsened the problem.
We have been complaining in my compound. We pay them, we don't owe them, but most of the times they will not come to collect to remove the dirt, and maggots will be coming out from there. So we've complained and we complain. There's nothing we can do. In fact, we even preferred calling iron condemned people to come and collect because they can dispose it immediately.
We have task force on Delta State Capital Territory, and we still have the ones of environment. Normally, they are not effective. They have to make it effective so that our surroundings will be very clean. The government should provide a basket for us too on the street and provide a task force on that too.
From where I'm living, the area, they are trying to come. Whenever we call on them to come and pick up the waste products, they do come. When they don't come, we sometimes find a means of taking it away from the area we are living.
What the government should do is to carry out a solid advocacy to enlighten the people on the danger inherent in disposing waste abnormally.
Government that is supposed to do the needful. You don't need to do the drainage and left it open. Cover it. People will not see way to throw their waste bin inside.
Environmental advocates are also calling for greater investment in waste management infrastructure, expanded recycling initiatives, and stricter enforcement against illegal dumping of refuse.
Government has approved and registered PSP who have the capacity to deliver. We do have that report from time to time of people, residents complaining that their PSP doesn't come as at when they are supposed to be there. Where we look into them, and when we see merit, we sanction the PSP. We also know that we have a challenge of a dump site. We have just one dump site in the capital territory. So we're also looking if we can get additional dump site. It will also help in managing this.
The board, however, insists that keeping Asaba clean will require the active cooperation of residents, businesses, and community leaders.
You, in your home, can sort your waste. You can take them to these recycling points, and they will buy you from you. We have about 6 centers that this agency are located to a waste bank that receive recyclable materials. One at Somi Junction, one at by Infant Jesus, another at Camp 74, another at NTA.
They maintained that sustainable waste management remains critical to protecting both public health and the environment. Success Benjamin, reporting for Dott TV.
And now to politics. The Federal High Court in Abuja has affirmed the leadership of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, headed by former Senate President David Mark and former Osun State Governor Ralph Arebeshola, dismissing a suit challenging their appointments. Delivering judgment on Thursday, Justice Musa Liman ruled that the case filed by House of Representatives member Leke Abejide lacked merit and could not be entertained by the court because it concerned the internal affairs of a political party. The court held that Abejide failed to establish that his right had been violated by the emergence of the current ADC leadership, and noted that he did not first explore the party's internal dispute resolution mechanism before approaching the court. Justice Liman also ruled that the process through which former ADC National Chairman Ralph Musu handed over the party's leadership to Mark did not breach the party's constitution or the Electoral Act. While the Nigeria Democratic Congress NDC in Delta State has described the action of the Delta State House of Assembly, declaring the seat of the member representing Udu State constituency Ebwetama Ovie Collins vacant following his defection to the party as unconstitutional. In a statement signed by the Delta State Publicity Secretary of the NDC, Mark Collins Ngose, the party accused the assembly of applying double standards, noting that politicians who previously defected from the PDP to the APC retained their seats without similar sanctions. The NDC condemned the decision, saying it amounted to an abuse of legislative powers and an attempt to silence opposition voices in the state. According to the party, the mandate held by Ebwetama belongs to the people of Udu State constituency and not to any political party, maintaining that removing him from office over his defection undermines the will of the electorate and violates constitutional provisions. Similarly, Deputy President of the 9th Senate, Ovie Omoagege, has condemned the Delta State House of Assembly over the removal of Ebwetama as representative of Udu State constituency, describing the action as hasty, arbitrary, oppressive, and illegal. In a statement he personally signed on Wednesday, the Obarisi of Uroboland said the House's decision was not constitutional, but a political move. Addressing the legal basis cited by the House, Omoagege argued that Section 109, subsection 1G of the Constitution does not apply without exception. Omoagege said a legislative mandate cannot be ended without hearing the lawmaker, warning that bypassing due process amounts to tyranny. Meanwhile, the Delta State House of Assembly has defended its decision to declare the Udu State constituency seat vacant, insisting that the action was taken in strict compliance with the provisions of the 1999 Constitution. In a statement issued on Thursday by the Chief Press Secretary to the Speaker, Nkemweke, the Assembly responded to comments made by former Deputy Senate President Senator Ovie Omoagege, who had criticized the declaration as arbitrary, oppressive, and illegal. According to the statement, the House acted after considering documentary evidence placed before it, including what it described as the affected lawmaker's resignation and defection from the political party on whose platform he was elected. The Speaker's office said the resolution complied with sections 109 subsection 1G and 109 subsection 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which provide that a member of a House of Assembly shall vacate his or her seat upon defection to another political party before the expiration of tenure, except where there is a division within the political party. Coming up shortly on the news at 4, Venezuela quake survivor pulled out alive after 8 days, and that's on the foreign desk, plus sports. But that's after the break. Please stay with us.
In the heart of Asaba, where the street tells the stories every single day.
From the corridors of powers to the decisions shaping governance and politics in Delta and Nigeria.
From traders counting every naira to families battling rising costs and uncertain times.
From football pitches to sporting successes to the major developments making the headlines all over the world.
And from the untold human stories, the struggles, victories, resilience, and hope of the everyday Nigerians.
This is the news beyond the headlines. Dott TV News are your trusted window to stories that truly matter to the people. Here, we don't just report events, we tell the human stories behind them. Thanks for staying with us. Now the rest of our stories. 2 policemen attached to the Imo State Police Command have been confirmed dead following a road accident involving 7 operatives along the Amakalu-Umuelemma Road in the Isialambano local government area of the state. The command has commenced investigation into the circumstances surrounding the accident that led to the fatalities. Imo State Command Police Public Relations Officer Henry Okoye disclosed this in a statement on Thursday. According to Okoye, the accident occurred on Monday, June 29th, while the 7 police operatives were on the Amakalo-Umuelemma Road in Isialambano local government area. He explained that the 2 deceased operatives gave up the ghost while receiving medical treatment, while the other 5 personnel are still in hospital. The Department of State Services, DSS, on Wednesday, arraigned 5 associates of former Minister of State for Petroleum, Timipriye Sylva, before the Federal High Court in Abuja over alleged concealment of information on his whereabouts. The defendants were docked before Justice Peter Lifo on a 2-count charge bordering on allegedly concealing the whereabouts of Sylva, whom the prosecution described as a fugitive. I beg your pardon. The DSS alleged that the defendants on April 28, 2026 became accessories after the fact by concealing Sylva's whereabouts, an offense contrary to Section 519 of the Criminal Code Act, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004. They were also accused of conspiring to commit a felony by concealing the alleged fugitives' whereabouts, contrary to Section 516 of the Criminal Code. The Nigeria Union of Teachers, NUT, has suspended its withdrawal of services across Oyo State public schools following renewed engagement with the state government and assurances over measures to improve security after the abduction of teachers and learners in Orire local government area of the state. In a statement jointly signed by the union's Oyo State Chairman Hassan Fatai and Secretary Olukade Salami, the union announced that the suspension followed a directive from its national leadership after reviewing the prevailing security situation and considering appeals by the Oyo State government and other key stakeholders. The union directed all public primary and secondary school teachers across the state to resume official duties from Thursday, July 2nd, 2026, bringing an end to the industrial action that was declared in response to the kidnapping of teachers and students in Orire local government area. NUT said the decision was taken in the collective interest of teachers, learners, and the public after the government assured that the union that sustained efforts were underway to secure the safe release of the abducted victims. And now to the foreign scene. A man has been rescued alive after being trapped for 8 days in the rubble of a building that collapsed after twin earthquakes in Venezuela. Emergency workers managed to free Hanan Gill more than 100 hours after they had first located him under 140 tons of rubble. A Chilean firefighter had earlier described the rescue operation as without doubt the most complex and technically difficult which I've had to tackle, that's unquote. Almost 2,300 people are confirmed to have died in the quakes which hit Venezuela on the 24th of June, and tens of thousands are still missing. For more stories on the foreign scene, let's join Emeko Kompo.
South African police have arrested more than 900 people during nationwide anti-migrant protests that were mostly peaceful, but at times turned violent, with shops looted and one person shot dead. The demonstrations were organized by a coalition of more than 20 civil society groups, including the March and March movement. They were called to mark an official deadline for undocumented migrants to leave the country. Deputy National Police Commissioner Tebelo Muskili, at a news conference on Wednesday, said of 120 marches held across South Africa, 108 were peaceful, while 12 saw police intervention. Muskili stated that reasons for the arrests range from public violence and robbery to immigration violations. Meanwhile, an 11-year-old Canadian boy has died from rabies after being awoken by a bat on his nose and mouth. The incident took place while the child was on a visit to a cottage in Ontario with his family in 2024, according to a report in the Canadian Medical Association Journal published on Monday. The boy, who was not named in the report, swatted the bat off his face, after which his father caught the winged mammal in a pot and released it outside. The boy's parents did not immediately seek medical attention due to their son not having any visible injuries and not thinking the bat behaved erratically. But 19 days later, the boy began experiencing numbness and swelling on his face. The Canadian Medical Association Journal chronicled his family taking him to get emergency care over the following days, and both clinics and hospital doctors trying to diagnose his symptoms. Elsewhere, Russian forces have launched a major drone and missile attack on the Ukrainian capital Kyiv overnight, killing 13 people. Several neighborhoods were evacuated as strikes rocked buildings throughout the city, hours after Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky warned Russia was preparing for a massive attack. Children were among the significant number of casualties, according to the report. Ukraine's Air Force said Russia had launched 74 missiles and 496 drones overnight, mainly targeting the capital. While the country's air defenses were able to repel most of these, 25 ballistic missiles and 12 drones struck 33 locations. And finally, the Vatican has announced that priests are members of a breakaway Catholic group that ordained 4 new bishops in defiance of Pope Leo XVI's wishes are in schism and excommunicated. The Society of St. Pius X, an ultra-traditionalist group, went ahead with the ordinations on Wednesday without papal approval, and despite appeals from Leo to reverse the decision. In response, the Vatican's doctrinal office on Thursday published a decree saying that the 4 bishops are excommunicated along with the 2 bishops who participated in the ordination ceremony. Excommunication means they are excluded from the sacraments of the church. It added in an exemplary note that priests belonging to the society and lay members who formally adhere to the group are also in schism and excommunicated. Emeka Okonkwo reporting for Dott TV News.
And now, sports news with Anthony Uche.
10 nations have now booked their last 16 places for the ongoing FIFA World Cup following yesterday's round of matches, with 2 more African nations biting the dust. England were made to work hard for their last 16 qualification by a brave DR Congo side, eventually winning 2-1 thanks to a hurricane brace. Ryan Sipenga gave the Leopards an early lead after just 7 minutes, with goalkeeper Lionel Mpasi making a string of good saves, but England eventually equalized in the 75th minute and scored the winner in the 11th minute later to send the Three Lions through to the last 16. Where they will face co-host Mexico at the Azteca Stadium. In yet another disappointing result for an African nation, Belgium recovered from a 2-0 deficit to dump out Senegal in the last minute of extra time. Habib Diarra and Ismail Assar gave the Teranga Lions the 2-0 lead, and they looked well on their way into the next round, but substitute Romelu Lukaku pulled one goal back in the 86th minute for Belgium, before Yuri Tillemans equalized in the 89th minute to send the game to extra time, eventually scoring the latest winner ever in World Cup history in the 25th minute of extra time to book a place in the next round. The United States also booked their last 16th place following a 2-0 victory over Bosnia and Herzegovina and set up a match against Belgium. Folarin Balogun scored and was sent off before Malik Tillman's free kick goal in the 82nd minute sealed America's first knockout win ever since 2002. The US and Belgium also met in the last 16 match of the 2014 World Cup in Brazil, with the European nation emerging victorious on that occasion. Now on to some transfer news, where Super Eagles midfielder Frank Onyeka has completed a permanent move to Coventry from Brentford for an undisclosed fee, following his loan move to the CBS Arena in February. Onyeka helped the Sky Blues win the championship and return to the Premier League for the first time in 25 years. Also, Tottenham Hotspur are set to break their transfer record for a second time this week after agreeing a deal worth up to £100 million with Newcastle United for midfielder Sandro Tonali. Spurs previously had a bid of £80 million rejected by Newcastle, but are now set to pay an initial £92.5 million plus a further £7.5 million in add-ons. And the Italian midfielder is expected in London today for his medicals. From the sports desk, Anthony Uche for Dott TV News.
And that's the news at 4 p.m. on Dott TV. Thanks for watching. I am Ife Arono. Keep following Dott TV on social media at Dott TV. Stay with us.
Of Asaba, where the street tells the stories every single day.
From the corridors of powers to the decisions shaping governance and politics in Delta and Nigeria.
From traders counting every naira to families battling rising costs and uncertain times.
From football pitches to sporting successes to the major developments making the headlines all over the world.
And from the untold human stories, the struggles, victories, resilience, and hope of the everyday Nigerians.
This is the news beyond the headlines. Dott TV News are your trusted window to stories that truly matter to the people. Here, we don't just report events, we tell the human stories behind them.